In this photo provided by the New York City Police Department, officers respond to a report of gunfire along West Street near the pedestrian bridge at Stuyvesant High School in Lower Manhattan in New York, Tuesday, October 31, 2017. Martin Speechley, NYPD via AP. New York, AP. The latest on a vehicle driving onto a bike path near the World Trade Center site and Memorial. All times local. 7:10 p.m. President Donald Trump is railing against the Islamic State group after a man drove a rented truck onto a bike path in New York City, killing 8 people. Trump says in a tweet, "We must not allow ISIS to return or enter our country after defeating them in the Middle East and elsewhere." He's declaring, "Enough." New York City's mayor has labeled the Tuesday attack in Lower Manhattan a cowardly act of terror. But local officials have made no mention publicly of the Islamic State group's possible involvement. A law enforcement official who was not authorized to discuss the case publicly and spoke on condition of anonymity said witnesses told police the attacker yelled, "Allahu Akbar," as he got out of the truck. Trump is also offering thoughts, condolences and prayers to the victims and their families, saying, "God and your country are with you." Associated Press writer Colleen Long in New York contributed. __6:55 p.m. 2 law enforcement officials have identified a man suspected of driving a rented truck down a bike path near the World Trade Center, killing 8 people. The officials have knowledge of the probe and have identified the suspect as 29-year-old Sayfullo Saipov. The officials aren't authorized to speak publicly about the ongoing investigation and spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity. The suspect has a Florida license but may have been staying in New Jersey. He was shot by police. He's hospitalized and can't be reached for comment while in custody. He is in surgery and is expected to survive. Police say the attack is being investigated as an act of terror. A U.S. official briefed on the investigation also confirms the man's name. Associated Press writers Colleen Long, Sadie Gurman and Michael Balsamo contributed. _6 p.m. A law enforcement official says that witnesses told police that the man who drove a rented truck onto a bike path in New York City, killing 8 people, shouted, "Allahu Akbar." The official was familiar with the investigation but wasn't authorized to speak publicly and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. Police Commissioner James O'Neill was asked at a news conference whether the suspect shouted the phrase, which means "God is great" in Arabic, or something like it. O'Neill replied, "Yeah, he did make a statement when he exited the vehicle, though he declined to elaborate." O'Neill says the method of attack in the suspect's statement enabled officials to label this a terrorist event. He says the 29-year-old man entered the bike path and drove south, hitting pedestrians and cyclists. He then hit a school bus, injuring at least 2 adults. He says the man exited the vehicle brandishing a paintball gun and a pellet gun. He was then shot in the abdomen by a police officer and is now hospitalized. Associated Press writer Colleen Long in New York contributed. __5:45 p.m. President Donald Trump is declaring, "Not in the U.S.A." after a man in a rented truck plowed into a busy bike path near the World Trade Center, killing at least 8 people. New York's mayor has labeled the attack a cowardly act of terror. Trump says in a tweet, "In NYC, looks like another attack by a very sick and deranged person." Quote, he says law enforcement is following the attack closely and adds, "Not in the U.S.A." The driver jumped out of the truck Tuesday with a fake gun in each hand and was shot by police. He's hospitalized. Vice President Mike Pence says those responsible for the attack must be held accountable. __5:25 p. p.m. New York City's mayor says a truck attack in Lower Manhattan killed 8 people and was a cowardly act of terror. Mayor Bill de Blasio says the attack on a bike path near the World Trade Center was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror aimed at innocent civilians. New York Gov. Andrew Cuomo called it a lone wolf attack. He says there's no evidence to suggest it was part of a wider plot. Witnesses described a chaotic scene of a white pickup truck hitting bicyclists on a path near the World Trade Center and then slamming into a school bus. They say the driver got out of his vehicle brandishing what appeared to be a gun in each hand. ____5:15 p.m. Witnesses have described a chaotic scene of a white pickup truck hitting bicyclists on a path near the World Trade Center and then slamming into a school bus. They say the driver got out of his vehicle brandishing what appeared to be a gun in each hand. Manhattan restaurant chef Eugene Duffy was crossing a street when he heard something, turned back and saw the pickup truck on the bike path. He says he saw the bodies of 2 men on the ground, their bikes mangled. He says he ran south and saw a yellow half-size school bus that appeared to have been T-boned and firefighters trying to get children out. A law enforcement official says at least 6 people were killed and at least 9 people were injured when a rented van struck them. The case is being investigated as possible terrorism. Associated Press writer Colleen Long in New York contributed. ___4:45 p.m. The White House says President Donald Trump has been briefed on the vehicle that drove onto a bike path near the World Trade Center and struck several people. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders says the president and the New York native has been briefed by White House Chief of Staff John Kelly and will be continually updated as more details are known. Sanders says, "Our thoughts and prayers are with all those affected." A law enforcement official says at least 6 people were killed and at least 9 people were injured when a rented van struck them on Tuesday. Associated Press writer Colleen Long in New York contributed. ___4:35 p.m. A law enforcement official says at least 6 people were killed and 9 injured when a rented van drove on a bike path near the World Trade Center in New York City. The official was familiar with the investigation but wasn't authorized to speak publicly and spoke on condition of anonymity. The driver of the rented Home Depot van emerged from the vehicle screaming. The official says the man had 2 imitation firearms. Police say the man was shot by officers and is in custody. The official says it is being investigated as a possible case of terrorism. Associated Press writer Colleen Long in New York contributed. ___4:25 p.m. New York City police say there are several fatalities and numerous people injured after a motorist drove onto a busy bicycle path and struck several people, then emerged from the vehicle screaming and firing something that appeared to be a gun. The department writes on Twitter that the suspect got out of the vehicle displaying imitation firearms and was shot by police officers. Police say the person is in custody. A man who was riding in an Uber along the West Side Highway near the World Trade Center says he saw several bleeding people on the ground after a truck struck several people. A witness says the truck had also collided with a small bus and one other vehicle. ___4 p.m. Police and witnesses say a motorist drove onto a busy bicycle path near the World Trade Center Memorial and struck several people, then emerged from the vehicle screaming and firing something that appeared to be a gun. An Associated Press photographer on the scene Tuesday witnessed at least 2 bodies lying motionless on the path beneath tarps. The New York Police Department posted on its Twitter feed that one person was in custody. The department says it's unclear whether anyone was shot. A man who was riding in an Uber along the West Side Highway near Chambers Street says he saw several bleeding people on the ground after a truck struck several people. A witness said the truck had also collided with a small bus and one other vehicle. ____3:50 p.m. Police are responding to a report of gunfire a few blocks from the World Trade Center site and Memorial, and witnesses say a vehicle drove down a popular bike path and struck pedestrians and cyclists. The New York Police Department posted on its Twitter feed that one person was in custody Tuesday. An Associated Press photographer on the scene saw at least one person lying motionless on the Manhattan bike path. A large number of police vehicles could be seen near a community college and a high school, and a few blocks north of the National Sept. 11 Memorial. It's unclear how many people have been injured or whether anyone was killed. ____3:35 p.m. Police are responding to a report of gunfire a few blocks from the World Trade Center site and Memorial. The New York Police Department posted on its Twitter feed that one person was in custody Tuesday. A large number of police vehicles could be seen in Manhattan near West Street and Chambers Street, which is near a community college and a high school and a few blocks north of the National Sept. 11 Memorial. It's unclear if anyone was injured.